Hey there friends, and welcome to another Quick Tip Tuesday, and today I have DIY herb dryers for you. Recently I was looking online for some ideas on how to dry herbs and things, and I found these miscellaneous types of ones and whatnot, but these ones that I was looking at are kind of like a mesh material, and they had several shelves that you could put the herbs on and everything. But when I was looking at them, I thought, these really don't have a whole lot of space, I mean, I have a lot of herbs to dry, so I really need ones that have a lot of space. And also, it was really expensive. It was like $50. And so I'm like, these things are a lot of money and they really don't have, a lot of space. And so I was exploring my options to see what, we could put together and what we could do to make it to where we could dry lots of herbs for a lot less money. And so this is what I've come up with. Basically, I found these pop-up hampers at Walmart. These were with tax under under $3, and they're really inexpensive, so obviously really inexpensive, and they actually have been working really good. And since they're so inexpensive, instead of having just one herb dryer, I have many, several, and with all the herbs that I keep having, growing abundance of, it's really not expensive to expand, how many we have, because they're so cheap. So anyway, they come all folded up like this, and so I guess if you wanted to fold them this small, you could, for storage over the winter months. Personally, I prefer to store them like this, just flat, stick them, you could stick these anywhere, any kind of a shelf, a closet, whatever, because they fold up so nice and small. But they're made out of this mesh material, and once they pop out, they're actually pretty big. So you can actually fit a fair amount of herbs in the bottom of one of these things. And I stick them out here to dry, and they really work very well. So once you pop them up, you take whatever herbs it is you have to dry. I wash them first. Make sure you wash them first. I use my fruit and vegetable wash to go ahead and wash herbs because I want to make sure that they're disinfected and everything, and it's also important to wash pollution and other things off of them. And since we're going to be drying them, there's no other opportunity to wash them except right now. So after you pick them, go ahead and wash them really good. I use my salad spinner and get all the water out of them as much as I can. And then you just put them in the little pop-up hamper thing here. And then from there, I just take a towel, just because I didn't go through all of this work to plant the seeds and water them and baby them along, plant them out in my garden, keep them weeded and everything, all the way through to this stage where I harvest them, wash them, and then dry them, only to end up with bugs in them and whatnot. So I take a towel, I stick it over the top, and then from here I just hang them anywhere I have room. Right now I have them in my tree, but I've hung them in my house before and whatnot. You'll definitely want to make sure to keep them out of the sun because the sun will make the herbs turn brown. But if you keep them in the shade, like on a warm day like today, I think the high is like 96. So the warm air out here is definitely going to help them dry really quickly. So you just keep them out here somewhere in the shade. They retain their nice green color, and then they dry out fairly quickly. The only other thing you're going to want to do with them is kind of shake them up a little bit. So when they're hanging here in the tree, maybe like once or twice a day, I just come out here and kind of like fluff the bottom of them so that they kind of mix up around, and around, so that it's not just the ones on the outside, the top, that are drying. It's going to make sure to get all of them, mixed up so that they dry evenly. Or sometimes I'll even just take the whole thing down, shake up the whole thing, and then put it back up. It's really easy to do. And you can actually fit a fair amount of herbs in these. I mean, I've really packed these full on a couple occasions where there was a lot of herbs in there. And as they dry, of course, they shrink down. But it's actually been really helpful to have them be this big, because then when I go to shake them, there's lots of space for them to move around in. So, it really has helped a lot. And they were way less expensive, so I'm really happy with this method. So here I have some basil that I've had drying already. So once they've been sitting in the tree for a while and you've mixed them up and whatnot, you end up with a lot less than you started with. And then you have these, grain dried herbs. I leave them like this rather than, breaking them down and crushing them before storage, because they retain more of their flavor that way. So I leave them like this. I'll put them in, a plastic bag or a jar, whatever it is I have available at the time. And then right as I'm about to use them, I'm going to make my pizza, my soup, my stew, whatever it is, crush them up, use them then, and then they really have a lot more flavor than store-bought herbs. Plus, when you're growing them yourself, you know that they're organic if that's the way you like to garden, they're not irradiated or anything else, and so you have these really fresh, healthy, tasty herbs, way cheaper than they would cost at a grocery store, and lots more flavor and healthy. So I'm really digging these DIY herb things. As you saw, they fold down really nice and small for storage. They were really inexpensive and they really work really good. This mesh really has a lot of airflow, and so they really dry them very evenly. So I hope you found this video helpful, and good luck with your herb gardening, and thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. I'm Frugal Green Girl. Thanks for watching.